So me and my wife just watched the first episode of the Alex Cross TV show on Amazon Prime, and I just want to say within 1 hour, they've done a much better job and left a much stronger impression than that Tyler Perry movie from 2012. So if you follow the channel, you know I'm not the biggest Tyler Perry fan in the world. And while this video isn't focused on the Tyler Perry movie from way back when, I do want to start off talking about the comparison because that movie was very, very underwhelming as well as very forgettable. So my wife and I are watching this together. So that means I'm going to take a little bit longer to watch each episode because we are watching it together. But when I finish the season, I will come back and give you my final thoughts. But based on that first episode, just looking at that, the show is very ambitious to me. I think that's the best word to describe it. They lay plenty of seeds as to where this season is going to go and how intricate the plot details are going to be and how many characters are going to be involved and how big the actual mystery will be surrounding this first season. So the show quickly sets up this really, really strong romance between Alex Cross and his wife, and then you immediately kill her. And as the show progresses, you get more and more little plot details about how big his wife's murder is, as well as the murder mystery that he's working to solve for the police force. When comparing it to the old Tyler Perry film, I don't remember Alex Cross having a partner in that movie. But in this show, you have Isaiah Mustafa, who is actually the guy from the Old Spice commercials from way back in the day, probably around the same time as that Tyler Perry Alex Cross film. Like his commercials for Old Spice were very prominent at that time. So you have a really cool dynamic between Alex Cross and his partner. You also have the perception of police with the modern day issues that have been done in real life. You see them spilling over into the show. It has a lot more levity than I remember that original film having. All that plays together quite well to set up the world that Alex Cross is in. Talking about performances and things like that, I really like Aldous Hodge in a few of the things that I've seen him in. One of my bigger criticisms of him is that he doesn't portray his anger well. And I think specifically to the last time I saw him do a big project was Black Adam with The Rock. And that was kind of a failure of a film. But I did like his version of Hawkman. I just feel like he played a generic version of an angry black man in that movie. Here in this movie or TV show, he does a much better job of portraying the things that he's upset about. And his anger comes across as much more genuine here than it did in the Black Adam movie. The internet is buzzing about Aldous Hodge and how good he looks. And, you know, women really tend to like him and they like him in this role because in that first episode, there's a lot of things that he says that's really provocative in that way. And so my wife hasn't mentioned anything, but I am intrigued as to how much that plays into her interest in the show. We have really just been looking for anything to watch, and this show dropped on yesterday, and it was like perfect timing. We finally have something that I think she'll be interested in and I'll be interested in because our interests don't always match up. But still sticking to the topic of internet buzz in relation to the show, I'm really wondering how much is the interest in the physical appearance of Aldous Hodge going to play into the success of the show? Like, will people continue to talk about it as they watch it over this weekend that's coming up? That's really my big thought. I'm hoping that the show has some success because we don't have enough procedural type shows where you have a black centric cast and set in a world kind of focused on black people. At least in this first episode, you have a lot of issues that are connected to the black community as well as the nation as a whole. And it's it's grounded to a certain extent. I like it. I want to see how far, the audience goes in and follows this show. I think this could be a good 3 to 4 season run for Aldous Hodge and the Alex Cross property because, not to keep bagging on Tyler Perry, but the movie wasn't great and it didn't do good numbers. But I think that character was really cool. You have Jack Ryan, you have Jack Reacher, Knives Out with the Beau Blanc character, and you have all those guys. And it's where are the black detectives? And here we have one with Alex Cross. And, I want to see it. I want to see it have some momentum. I hope that it's successful, where the film kind of fell short. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Did you watch it? Were you into it? Those are the thoughts. Those are the questions. Let me know in the comment section if you choose to do so. If you've watched us far, thank you so much. And that's all we got for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself. Guard your heart. Go watch something good.